Denver 50.
Yeah. I'm okay, but my nose won't stop bleeding. I can't stop the bleeding on my nose.
You need medical assistance for that?
Yes, I need some help for my nose. Yes, please.
Okay, so the helicopter is on the road.
James Hillier knows how bloody demanding the Dakar is. He was here 2 years ago, but yesterday hit him hard. And he was by no means the only one. Barbara Holliker and Lucy Engover's pink Citroën 2CV couldn't make it. And top 20 last year, but Portugal's Antonio Maio was stuck in a rut on day one. Maio really needed another pair of hands. Lorenzo Santolino was on his way. But he didn't stop to help. And nor did his teammate Rui Gonçalves. But eventually, Bolivian Daniel Losilia Jager was the day's Good Samaritan. Now, today and tomorrow is one special split over 2 days in what we call a 48-hour chrono, stages 2A and 2B. But what does that actually mean in 30 seconds? It's 958k for bikes, 971 for everyone else, 6 temporary camps called break zones along the way, each with an arrival time limit. Today, stage 2A, competitors went as far as they could, but had to stop at the furthest camp they could reach before its time ran out. When they entered that, their clock stopped for the day. Tomorrow it starts again when they leave the bivouac and head for the finish line, where their total time over both days determines the result of the special. Mechanics were allowed at kilometre 168 to work on vehicles, but overnight, no phones, no contact, no loos, no showers, survival rations, and everyone sleeps in tents under the desert sky. Boom!
Feeling pretty sore. Not the way you want to start a rally, especially with the next stages. For sure, gonna try to conserve my body till I can get back and maybe get a massage.
48 hours to cover 1,000 kilometers. I never done this one.
Are you afraid of that, of this new challenge?
No, because if I'm afraid, then I'm less of a man than everybody else, you know, so everybody's up for the task, so am I.
Al Belushi opened again today like yesterday, but he wasn't at the front for long. Tosha, Pablo and Ricky were on his tail.
The strategy is just to make it, the next 2 days.
No strategy. Full gas, get as far as we can go is, I guess, the strategy. We'll probably be doing about 500-600 Ks today, so let's see.
This is going to be a long one, I think.
Yes, Ross, indeed it is. Long and unforgiving on the body, the bikes and the mind. Stunning scenery as always, and of course some of these boys just can't help themselves, and don't we love it? Branch is a rider full of confidence since becoming world champ, and his dream is to go one better than runner-up spot 12 months ago. Botswana's hero had no issues today. Botswana is where you'll find big cats, but Ricky is purring right now too. Nobody's won back-to-back Dakars on a bike since Mark Coma 10 years ago. Could he? Might he? Will he? Right now though, they are all chasing Aussie Daniel Sanders. Back in 2023, he was unlucky Chucky, breaking wrist and elbow in a curb crash on a liaison. But fortune favours the brave, and the way he stormed through the first 3 days racing, 2022's best rookie, is going to be hard to get over. Branch running about 6 minutes off the pace in third, but these standings don't really mean much just yet. The KTM boys are also rocking the show in Rally 2, locking out the top 3 in the virtual standings. Chucky's teammate Edgar Canet is back on top, ahead of overnight leader Tobias Ebster. Not far behind them, Mike Doherty. Good to see the South African back out there today after a bit of a scare yesterday. There's about 13 minutes separating the trio.
Jeez. What the fuck was it?
It was fast. It was super difficult.
Very physical.
Tough stage.
Full of trees. A lot of stones.
Tricky day.
Yeah, I messed up. I messed up bad. I'm happy, but I'm mad. I'm happy and I'm mad. I don't know.
2 days is really very tough. We need to manage, without any problems, without any risk, and at the same time we need to be really fast.
It will be important to find the right rhythm, not to destroy everything, and to reach the end. So it's what we will try to do.
Even if we lose a little bit of time opening or maybe a miracle happens and we end up winning again, we got a long way to go, so too early to start worrying about it.
After a super tricky first special, if the drivers were expecting an easier ride today, they were sadly mistaken. Seth Quintero cursed himself earlier because his strong drive yesterday meant he had to open the road. João Ferreira, quicksand. Guillaume de Mevius, sandpit. Carlos Sainz, sand surfer. And sand roller. Mitch Guthrie, sand saviour. You weren't supposed to pull the bloody doors off, Mitch.
C'est pas idéal. On a fait un tonneau sur un dunin. Et la voiture elle est un peu abîmée, et nous aussi.
One of the curiosities of the day was effectively a pit stop at 168 kilometres.
Mechanics ready! Contenders ready!
The early sections were pretty rocky, so there was a chance to replace tyres and carry on. Hardly Formula One, but the clock kept ticking, so speed was of the essence.
Nasser, you will go on my first whistle.
And go he did, briefly taking the lead 50 kilometres later.
C'est de l'électronique, ça démarre, ça s'arrête, il démarre tout seul, finalement il se coupe. En fait, on peut pas faire grand-chose.
Bivouac E was at 626k. Third quickest car to reach it was the Ford of Matthias Ekstrom. The Swede mashed up the sand and roasted most of his rivals. Top two on stage 2A were in a class of their own though. Nasser Al-Attiyah chasing Yazid Al-Raji non-stop for 7 hours. The Dacia Sandrider lived up to its name. But Yazid put his Toyota into overdrive, and as the crews set up camp tonight, it's the local boy at the top of the leaderboard. Al-Raji was leading the rally raid when the 48-hour chrono started last year, but crashed out once it got underway. This year, day one went much better, and he ends the first day in one piece and position 1. In the T3s, Nicolas Cavigliasso was second on the prologue and won yesterday. He and Valentino Pertigarini were the most impressive pairing again today, leading the first part of this double-day Dune Fest ahead of ex-biker Paul Spearings. Pau Navarro third quickest, but can anyone challenge the Argentinian tomorrow? T4 leader and defending champion Xavier de Soltrait seems utterly free of stress or strain. And while that can change quickly, the Frenchman started with constant consistency, and the Seb Loeb racing team looked the one to beat. He and Brock Hegger, the only ones to reach Bivouac D. When the trucks hit the dunes today, they went every which way. Up, down, left, forwards, right, backwards, in, out, shake it all about. But Alice Lopraich and Vaidotas Zala made it to Bivouac C at kilometre 546, as did Martin Macic, who laid the foundations for victory last year in the 48-hour chrono. Didn't believe me about them going backwards? I did tell you. Hokey cokey, everything to play for tomorrow. Macic grabbed the virtual lead. Every participant is in a tent tonight, having to work on their own vehicles and cook for themselves. But there are 25 guys who do that every single night, with no outside assistance, no support staff, completely self-sufficient. These riders are the true soul of the Dakar, the original by Motul class. Class indeed. Class dismissed. See you tomorrow.